go. What is going on, Cover One Crew? Welcome back to the show. Everybody's doing good as always, man. Thursday Night Football in the books. God-awful contest by my Buffalo Bills, but that Houston Texans defense is truly legit, man. But they got definitely worked. It was not a good game. What are we doing today? Boom or bust, week number 12. Who's going to boom, who's going to bust, and who can we trust this week? It was not a good week for me last one, and I mean, this does not happen to me, man. 45% on the boom rate predictors. Absolutely terrible, man. We're going to rebound in a very big way. I do not get under 50 at best. This was absolutely horrible, but I definitely have it on tap. This week, we are going to improve. Otherwise, I don't know what the hell's going on in this league. But I got all of my players for you. Let's dive in. Running backs, Rico Suave, Rico Dotto. Man, what is he doing taking on the San Francisco 49ers? 63% on that boom rate since taking over as a starting running back for these Carolina Panthers. And I mean, this will go down as one of the best waiver wire pickups in 2025. Rico has been an absolute gem this season since getting more touches in this Panthers offense. And I mean, we know the NFL has got a firm rule on players do not lose their job to injury. And I mean, Rico proved the point when Chuba Hubbard came back into the fold. He was the guy to fear. He was the guy that was not going to be removed from carries and touches in this offense, posting 3 boom games in a row. I mean, he could fall short this week versus the 49ers, but the amount of injuries the 49ers still continue to have on the defensive side, holes will be found to gallop through once again this week. And as these Carolina Panthers continue to win contests, Rico is a big part of that. Boom for the 4th straight time for Rico Suave, Rico Dotto. I do like the game, how he has been playing. Absolutely phenomenal. Q Judkins taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. 44% on the boom rate for Q so far this season. And okay, while the Cleveland Browns are moving into the Shadir Sanders saga of starting quarterbacks here in Cleveland this week, and I mean, it is due in part to the concussion of Dylan Gabriel. We have heard Coach Stefanski mention that Gabriel will still remain as a starting quarterback when he is healthy, but we'll see what Shadir can do this week. Will this help the Browns offense? We will see, but I fully expect a heavy dose of running upside to keep Sanders upright from the relentless pressure of Big Max Crosby. He's going to be coming after Shadir with a bum rush this week, so they're definitely going to have to lean upon that ground game. Judkins busted the last 3 games with a bye week in the middle of that as well, so it has not been great overall. He has not looked, the same since coming back from his injury as well, but it is overdue. Force feed a Judkins on the regular this week to help along a Shadir Sanders. Could be for the best part of it anyway, taking on a weaker club. Volume upside is key. TD boom incoming for the first time in 3 weeks for Q Judkins. Man, it's about time they start running the football like they did early on in the season before he went down with that injury. Ashton Genty taking on those Cleveland Brownies, 60% on that boom rate. And this one for me is more on the cautious side of things. You guys know this, man. It's not a for sure bench for Genty anytime he plays football, but this one is definitely on the cautious side, man. As the Raiders, they look like complete garbage. I mean, what else can I say? For most of the season, it's been really bad football coming from these Raiders, and now they got to contend with one of the best in the business in Myles Garrett. He's such a beast of a man. The Browns defense truly is the cream of the crop when they do play on point, and Myles is sacking quarterbacks. And I mean, even with the running style of Genty, I mean, will it right the ship? He's supposed to be, the pounder, the bruiser, the broken tackle guy, and it just hasn't been, coming to fruition these past several weeks. There is potential that Genty does break one, finds the end zone this week like any other week this season. But, I mean, again, the potential does have the show to be very meek on the horizon for this top-end point totals. PPR could save him. Even a touchdown could save him, just like they used him last week in that PPR game. But before last week, posting 2 busts out of the last 4 games, definitely not something that's looking in the right direction, even as boom games have been on the lower side as well. I mean, it's going to be a big test for him this way in a very big way. Cautiously optimistic bust for a Genty this week. I get it. If you got to play him, you got to play him. But it's got this standard right now to be not a very good contest for Ashton Genty this week. Trevion Henderson, my dude, taking on the Cincinnati Bengals, 36% on that boom rate. And y'all know, going back to the offseason, Trey was one of my most talked about, one of my most promoted backs coming out of this NFL draft. And I mentioned it more than once on more than one occasion that I could rank a Trey as the number 1 running back coming out of this draft class. And it is documented. If you don't know, go check out my videos on the scouting reports because they are there and documented. The only reason why I said is because he wouldn't be necessarily the full 3-down back in this league. He'll be more like a tandem approach, but utilized similarly to a Jahmyr Gibbs, where he is too damn explosive. Finally, he's showing everybody what I was saying. Loaded with speed, loaded with hands, loaded with playmaking ability. He is not a liability in any stance of the game, man. Henderson is making a case that he could take lead touches with some spelling from somebody else. Maybe they do flip the script a little bit. And Ramondre Stevenson, he's getting too limited practices. Looks like he's good to go after Friday's practice as well. He's trending in the right direction to suit up in this contest, so it will fear a lot of people on the workload for Trey as well. We may lose some goal line upside for Trey this week as well, but the touches, even if they do get pulled back, you got to believe they're going to sprinkle in Trey, Ramondre Stevenson, just a little bit more, just to nurse him back. I still think Henderson has a big-time workload this week as well, because he has showcased the fact he is too damn good, and to not put the ball in his hand, boom time, in a cupcake matchup that might have Joey B coming back for those Bengals as well, but I love me some Trey once again this week. Wide receivers, Andre Yosevash, man, taking on the New England Patriots, 20% boom rate for Yoshi this season so far, and I mean, keeping with the same contest as I did with the Trevion Henderson, Yosevash taking on these New England Patriots, potentially going to get Joey B back, like I said. So that's a good positive for the Cincinnati Bengals offense. It is earlier than expected. So, I mean, if Joey B does not suit up, they still got Joe Flacco, and he's more than capable to push this ball down the field like we have seen all season long. Jamar Chase, with his stupidity, man, I knew that they were not going to overturn that suspension. He's out of this contest, leaving massive upside for my guy, Andre Yosevash, where he could be, probably won't get the number one targets. That's going to go obviously to T. Higgins this week, but Yoshi should be able to get an expanded role. Likewise with a Noah Fant. They need more all hands on deck without a Jamar Chase, man. Yoshi's proven to be reliable when given those opportunities, and he does have a nose for that end zone. I'm going to gamble on this one all freaking day. Target upside, boom, for Andre Yosevash. I absolutely love the play because the upside is there. DJ Moore taking on these Pittsburgh Steelers, 20% on that boom rate for DJ. Okay, and while I don't really like, the usage of DJ Moore so far this season, Ben Johnson definitely has his team moving in the right direction and improving on the weekly, man. Except for DJ Moore, I just don't understand what his issue is, man. He's turned into more of a gadget player on the best of days, and it is very frustrating for all of us owners who do want to play him. Odunze definitely is the cream with the run game. They're the catalyst of this offense. And I mean, while I would like to preach up, the good graces of DJ Moore, I simply can't once again, especially in a tough matchup versus Steelers. If DJ hits, I mean, fine. If it's a splash play or even, secured targets, very hard to trust regardless, especially with the Steelers. They've been playing a lot better on the defensive side of late as well, looking much better. I'm playing it safe. Bust once again for a DJ Moore. I do not like the play. Will not trust it this week. J-Mo, Jameson Williams taking on the New York Giants, 50% on that boom rate for J-Mo. And one player, I mean, he's been super quiet, true team guy, hasn't complained, no wide receiver diva issues, because he was an afterthought in so many contests so far this season. But I mean, he's just worked the motions, man, in this Lions offense. When called upon, given the targets, he's taken full advantage of every opportunity, and now target share is starting to increase on the man because Sam Laporta is on injured reserve. Recent news just said he is done for the season with a back surgery, so that's going to continue to uplift a J-Mo at this point. These targets are going to be directed, to the fastest wide receiver along with Amon-Ra St. Brown. J-Mo's got 4 boom games out of the last 5, and this should be a heaping of deep shots against these New York Giants this week. I absolutely love it. Giants are definitely on life support, so J-Mo could definitely have a massive showing this week. Low risk, high reward. Once again for J-Mo, boom time. Jameson Williams, Detroit Lions, they will continue to force feed this man. Devontae Smith, Smitty taking on these Dallas Cowboys, 50% on that boom rate for Smitty this year. Okay, and this one might feel a little bit of a shoe-in type because the Cowboys' defense is so weak. But, I mean, the way the Eagles have not been playing strong on the offensive side of late, I mean, this is definitely not a slam dunk by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, there's levels of pause whenever we're playing people like A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. I mean, it's very tough this season as the Eagles, they need a get-right game in the biggest of ways, especially for this pass attack and a Jalen Hurts. Even Saquon Barkley in this run game, they got to figure something out, man. Smitty should should see, more come to his side this week as well. And I do believe that with, A.J. Brown getting handled by a Bland on the defensive side, there could be a lot more opportunities for Devontae Smith to get even more targets in this contest. I'm loving Smitty and Goddard this week in a very big way. Fly, Eagles, fly for Smitty. Boom for this wide receiver. He should have a very strong day versus still a weaker Dallas Cowboys defense. Mark Andrews taking on the New York Jets, talking tight ends, 40% on that boom rate and somewhat back from the dead over the past 3 weeks. It's no coincidence, man. With Lamar Jackson back on the field, Mark Andrews has been uber reliable. Once again, hitting boom games in the last 3, climbing back to being the tight end 11 overall out of 11 weeks this season. And those last 3 weeks definitely had something to say about that. Taking on the Jets, who are in full tank mode, man. They are benching a Justin Fields in favor of a Tyrod Taylor. And the Ravens, they basically got to run the table for the most part to win this division, secure their spot in the playoffs. Mark Andrews going to continuously be heavily involved in this offense in a big way. I'm going boom once again for Mark Andrews. He's been super reliable the last 3 weeks, and in a good matchup, I'm definitely taking the bread on this one. Juwan Johnson taking on the Atlanta Falcons, 60% on that boom rate for Juwan. And what I tell y'all when Spencer Rattler hit the bench, everyone was saying, oh, Tyler Shogg is not very good. And when Tyler took over, I said, they're going to, the head coach, Kellen Moore, he's good enough to understand that his rookie passer is going to need a lot of safety blanket appeal and more check downs. And that's exactly what we have seen from Tyler Shogg so far in his early starts this season. Going back to Juwan, to being that fantasy relevant tight end, taking on the Falcons, who are basically cooked, man. They got no Michael Penix. They just lost their safety Bowman for the season in practice to a Achilles injury, so they are dropping like flies in Atlanta, man. All but done in the playoff picture, no question. Saints do have a shot at least to play for pride in this one, coming off the bye and putting the nail in the coffin for the Dirty Birds, who is a division rival as well, so they would like nothing more. Shogg is not a bad QB. Is he a great QB? No, not at this point, but there is a lot of positives. Footwork, mechanics, arm strength. He definitely does, put it all in checkbox for me for sure. But let's see if it does continue, man. You got to crawl before you walk. Young guys will get some more tape, or the defense will get some more tape on these young guys, and there could be some struggles moving forward. But I'm going to bet on the upside for Juwan this week. Once again, TD, boom, incoming for Juwan Johnson. Love the play once again this week. TJ Hawkinson taking on the Green Bay Packers, 20% on that boom rate. And one player, his usage, I'm going to have to go in the study lab to understand what the hell is wrong with the Vikings and why they refuse to use TJ Hawkinson. It's a very similar evaluation, man, with J.J. McCarthy struggling. Why wouldn't you scheme up multiple ways for safe throws, short outs, and checkdowns to TJ? I just will never understand what is going down in Minnesota. Playing all games right now so far in 2025. He's only accounted for 2 boom games, man. Far cry from what he was last year and seasons prior, man. And what he could definitely provide on this team would be an uplift for everybody on this offense, man. Facing the Packers this week and a defense who appears to be back on track in a good way. It's a very long shot for J.J. McCarthy that he's going to have a strong contest versus Micah Parsons and company. I just don't like it, man. Leaving Hawk again on to lick his wounds. I'm leaving him on the bench. Best of luck for you, T.J. Hawkinson, but I'm calling a bust because I can't trust what you're putting down on the field. Last one we got is Cade Otton. Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Los Angeles Rams, 30% for Cade Otton right now. And the Bucs season definitely is moving in the wrong direction at this point, man. They require a massive talent infusion of help. They require Bucky to come back. They require Godwin to come back. Reinforcements are coming very soon, no question. Godwin is looking to be on the right side of suiting up this week, where Bucky has already been ruled out, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe next week he will come back as well. But Bucky, he's been the train, but this offense, at least with Sean Tucker, with Rachaad White, they've been able to move the football quite a bit. So it's not a shock if they're going to, not let Bucky suit up this week because of how well Tucker ran, but at least get Chris Godwin back. It's very important for Baker Mayfield and Emeka Egbuka to have his running mate once again pulling coverage, so Otton would be Chris Godwin, geez, man, he will be a very big returner for this offense as well. But this does leave targets to be, pulled out of the mouth of a Cade Otton at this point, becoming back to that situational target tight end, which would lean on TD dependencies, which I am not definitely trusting this week. Err on the side of caution. If Godwin does suit up, bust once again for a Cade Otton. I don't like it with Godwin back. It's just not looking pretty for me. But there you have it. That is Boomer Bust. Who's going to boom, who's going to bust, and who can we trust here in week number 12? Thanks Thanksgiving is coming. Love me some Thanksgiving football. We definitely got to get through week number 12 before we start talking about Turkey Day, which gets me all excited, but nevertheless, as always, don't forget that like button, hit that subscribe button, jump in those comments, give me your thoughts. Got Start Sit for you on Saturday, so like always, so stay tuned for that, but we'll see you next time. I am out.